welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we have the first part of our two-part instructional series for Waste Nights. In this video, we will cover the setup of the game as well as some of the basics such as resolving tests and some other things like that. Then in part two, we'll cover the actions that you can take during the gameplay, combat. A lot of the main chunk of the gameplay will be covered in that second part. Now, before we get down to the table and I begin teaching you how to play Waste Nights, I want to tell you about StoneValleyGames.com. This is your friendly distant game store run by Eric and Wendy. They've got a lot of great stuff over there. If you go check them out, be sure to check out their loyalty program for return customers. If you're in the military right now and you have an AA, AE, or AP address because you're stationed overseas, they will ship to you for free. Tons of great stuff going on over there. They have the old classics, the new hotness, everything in between. Go check out StoneValleyGames.com and see what they've got to offer. There's a link in the description below. Now, without anything else, let's get down to the table, and I'm going to teach you how to play Waste Nights. To begin the setup, place the board in the center of the table. Take the special deck. Do not shuffle it. Make sure it is organized by these numbers in the top left corner, and place it face down near the board. Shuffle the exploration deck and place it face down. Take the wasteland decks. Make sure they are organized by their different card backs, and shuffle them and place them near the board face down. Take the 6 general upgrade cards and place them near the board. Shuffle the injury deck and place it with the unconscious side face up. Shuffle the malfunction deck and place it with the wrecked side up. Search all the gear cards for the starting gear, which has the word starting gear at the bottom of the card, and separate these out from the rest of the gear cards, setting them aside for now. Then shuffle the deck of gear cards and place them into the gear deck holder with the broken side face up. Place all the dice, time marker, and 2 camp markers in the camp space of the board. Take all the ammo, fuel, and meds tokens and form a pool. Also form a pool of wound tokens, radiation tokens, damage tokens, general tokens, plot tokens, danger tokens, challenge tokens, and entry tokens, and add them all to the pool. Take the threat tokens and place them in the bag. To determine the first player, each player takes 1 die of each color, rolls them, counts their successes, in this case 1 success, and whoever has the most successes is the first player, and receives the first player token. If there was a tie when determining this, the tied players would re-roll. Now that the board is set up, it's time to set up the individual players. Starting with the first player and going clockwise, each player then chooses a knight, including their knight sheet, the mini that goes with that knight, and their personal upgrade deck, which will have their picture in the bottom right corner. The player takes 1 set of knight tokens, a matching color disc to attach to the bottom of their knight's mini, a reference sheet, and an XP marker. Then, starting with the last player and going in counterclockwise order, each knight will choose what vehicle they will be using. The vehicle is placed to the left of the knight sheet. Next, players will need to choose their starting gear. Starting with the first player and going clockwise, each player chooses 1 starting gear card. And players will repeat this process until each knight has exactly 1 armor and up to 2 weapons. These should be placed in the appropriate slots next to their player card. Also make sure the green working side is face up. All unused starting gear cards are discarded next to the gear deck with their broken red side face up. This will be the beginning of the discard pile for the gear deck. Each player gains 2 of each resource type. The fuel is placed on their vehicle sheet and the ammo and meds are placed on their knight sheet. Finally, players take the guide and choose which scenario they're going to play. Be sure to pay attention to any special setup rules. Waste Nights is played over a series of rounds until the goal of the current adventure plot is achieved. Each round consists of night turns. Starting with the first player going clockwise, each player resolves their turn by performing 2 different actions. After all players have taken their turns, a new round begins. Depending on the current plot, certain effects may be triggered at the beginning of each round. Also, some plots have time limits, forcing players to achieve their goals within a set number of rounds. In those cases, the time marker will be used. Keep in mind, this will always be moved at the beginning of a round prior to any other effect being resolved. Throughout the game, it's possible that special effects from certain cards, sheets, or books may contradict the rules in the rulebook. The special effects will always supersede the rulebook itself. Wound, radiation, and damage tokens are not limited by the number of components in the game. If you run out, use a suitable substitute. However, all other components in the game are limited. If any deck is empty, shuffle its discard pile to form a new deck. The exceptions to this rule, however, are the special deck and the personal upgrade deck. Regardless of any effects, a player can never have less than 1 die in a die roll. If you're ever instructed to lose dice and the effect does not specify which one, the player gets to choose. And the last golden rule is that a player's successes can never be less than 0. On a vehicle sheet, the player will find the name of the vehicle, the type of vehicle, its capacity, which is the number of gear cards that can be kept in the vehicle, its speed, which is the number of movement points your vehicle provides whenever you move, its tank, which is the number of fuel that can be kept in your vehicle, its bonus speed, which are the number of extra movement points your vehicle provides for spending 1 fuel, and its chassis, which is the amount of damage your vehicle can suffer before becoming wrecked. This also shows the repair cost for each damage. The night sheet will show the knight's name and vocation, their skills, their special ability, their camp action, which shows repair as well as how to use any medicine you may want to use to heal your knight. The explore action features exploration and explains how to use fuel to increase it. The knight's health is found here. This is the amount of physical and contamination damage the knight can suffer before becoming unconscious. The resilience track is here. This is the amount of radiation the knight can suffer and negative effects it causes. Their hand slots for weapons are here, and the armor slot for armor is here, and then here is the experience points track. Exploration cards show various terrain type sections, the findings depending on the terrain type, and negative effects may possibly be involved as well. Enemy cards show the enemy's name, their type, their attack type, which in this case is ranged and in this case is melee, their health, rewards that are received when defeating the enemy, their traits, and the text box which will have some additional information, such as special combat abilities. Gear cards will show the name of the gear, the type, either weapon, armor, or utility, and drugs may also be found. It'll be green if it's working, and red if broken. This is the barter value. This is the repair cost. The text box will have important information in it. This shows the attack type, in this case ranged, and any attack dice are next to that. And this shows how many hands are required to carry it. On armor, this protection symbol shows how much the combatant prevents damage when wearing it. Keep in mind, though, that contamination and radiation cannot be prevented this way. Injury and malfunction cards are very similar. They have their name at the top. The type of card, injury and malfunction, is listed next. Special actions are listed at the bottom here, if applicable. And permanent effects are listed here. And that covers the setup and some of the basic information to get you primed to learn to play Waste Nights. In the second video, we will cover all the other rules that you need to know. Also, be sure to come back and check out our video of Nemo's War coming up. Frosthaven is coming up. Dungeon Universalis. Keystone North America. Lots of great stuff, so be sure to come check all that out. And until next time, if you're bored online, board offline.